Are you really trying to impress other people? And you feel like your self love could be a lot stronger so that you don't feel like you need to go out your way to impress other people. Well, today I want to talk about this. And if you stay until the very end, I have an actual point for you then as well. As always, if you have any specific podcast topics, you can drop them below or you can reach me on social media. My handle is also in the show notes below. Okay, this topic of self-love and trying to impress people. Well, often I've found when I try to impress other people, it's because there's a lack of self-love there. That gap of self-love for me not working on myself enough and, maybe some hurtful experiences in the past. I try and plug that. I've tried to plug that gap many times with trying to get approval to other people. And then it's when you get that approval, yay, I felt good. And when I'm not, I can feel terrible. Especially, and I'll be honest with this, and I've spoken to many people about this, it comes up a lot in the area of dating and romantic relationships, because you find someone that's going good, you feel amazed about yourself, you feel happy, and it's not going so good, you feel like absolute crap, and you're like, I'm the worst person on the planet and no one loves me. Been there? Yeah, I have many times that kind of internal talk. And I've been also in a place where it's been like, I need to say the right thing, whether that was in like a work situation or like a dating or maybe a social situation. I'll be like, I need to say the right thing, do the right things, and I'll press other people, and then I'll get love, which is ridiculous because I realise I am love. We're born love, right? We just forget like we have these experiences and negative beliefs that come in that I've certainly learned and had to unravel and pick, and sometimes now and then one will come up, right? Over time, though, what I've been able to develop, and it's not an overnight fix, and the things I share in these podcast episodes, it's not going to take you years to kind of like figure out, like I did, just like commit to something regularly. But what I found is I've I'm a respectful person. I'm very like quite conscious of other people. I'm not so conscious that I'm like going to filter every single thing I say and worry what other people say, right? I'm aware of people, but I will live my truth as much as possible. Now and then, yeah, of course, I may get the odd knockback or may say the odd thing that I think, I don't feel like I fully said the whole truth there. I'm a human being still, so I'm going to learn those things. But I'm now in a position where if someone disrespects me, which is quite rare, I've had it recent, so I'm going to talk about that. They'll be hearing about it, and it's not going to be out of a place of like attacking or lashing out or anything. I'm just going to say that was very hurtful, that was disrespectful, and that is because you did this. And I'm not attached to the outcome. I'm not like I want them to like suck up to me or then apologize or like some kind of other outcome. I just need for myself to tell someone that I was disrespected and that was a little bit hurtful, maybe a bit more hurtful, and make them aware, because I'm doing that for myself, because I'm sticking up for myself, and that is a sign of self-love. And we're not, like I say, we're not going over the barrier when you start attacking someone and say, who are you? And then you're getting all personal, then that's not what we're doing. That's just insecurity. That's just anger, right? It's out of love, and it's like standing up for you. It's like standing up for your kid, right? Imagine you're in a child, the like younger version of you. Imagine sticking up for them. That is what I see as is kind of a part of self-love here when you get disrespected, right? And I've been able to develop that over time. Right? I used to probably say nothing. But if I disagree with something, I'm going to speak up in an appropriate way, right? So self-love, I believe, is a practice. So I want to dive into it as well. And I want to ask you this. If you're someone who's constantly like, oh, I really want to develop self-love, and you're not doing anything about it, how's that really serving you? Because I've heard all these excuses. I'm busy. I want this, but I'm not putting any work. Well, self-love's like that. You need to know that you want it and you need to put work into it. So let's go through a few points here. The first point in terms of developing your self-love, trying to impress other people, Sorry, let me say that again. Developing your self-love so you don't feel the need to impress other people as much is number one, be very clear on what you want in your friendships, in your romantic dating life, and your relationship with your family, right? Well, I know family you can't choose, but let's talk about what you're going to tolerate. Often people are, they did this and this mean that really hurt, and they're not clear on their boundaries. So get clear on your boundaries, get clear on the people you want in your life, because rather than you trying to impress someone else and like, oh, I hope this person likes me, if you're talking dating and I'm going to be with them, look at like, are they going to impress me? And it's not from a place of ego, but it's like, it's an equal exchange. Like, you both have to like each other and remember that about you. Or, you know, it's like you go to a social, oh my God, what if they think you go to a social event, what if they think I'm an idiot? It's like, well, you know, I'm comfortable being me, and I've got to decide who's going to be the right people for me, you know, and again, out of a loving place. The second thing is find more people who make you feel good about who you are, right? If you're trying to impress other people and like you feel like they're not giving you validation, and you should be looking for that, by the way, it's probably because you're not around the right people. I know people who make me feel good. I know people who haven't made me feel so good, and I'm very quick to change that. Very fortunate in that position now. So start finding more people that make you feel good about you. Okay, now this third point, and I really want to emphasize this. I actually touched upon this in the last podcast episode, but it's really important because we're specifically talking about self-love and not trying to impress other people. If you want to develop more self-love and not try and impress other people anymore, you've got to practice again and again self-love. And I believe it's a never-ending process. It goes on for the rest of your life, right? It's like exercise goes on for the rest of your life. Eating well goes on for the rest of your life. You can choose to not do those things very well. You can choose to not do self-love as well. But you're either going to not like yourself as much, or in the physical example, eating and exercising, you're not going to be in as good a shape, right? So saying you want more self-love and not putting a self-love practice in is like saying, I want a really great, amazing body, and then not exercising or eating very well, right? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous when you put it in that context, because you have to make changes mentally, commitments into that. It's not just going to show up. You've got to make an intention and commit to it. So that's my third point as well. Actually spend time in self-love every single day. Now, I've got a final point for you as well. Just want to mention again that if you've got any specific topics on the podcast that you'd like talked about on the podcast, you can reach out in the comments, or you can contact me on social media, and then let me know what you'd like me to talk more about of. The final thing I'm going to say is study it, right? If there's someone you know who genuinely loves themselves, and not arrogant, not ego driven, not like putting people down. I'm talking about someone who genuinely is happy in their own skin. Even if you look at their life and think, well, I wouldn't want that life. All right, that's cool. Like, everyone's got a different choice. But is there someone you admire and you think, in the way of self-love, look at them, study them. You don't have to know them. There's many people online. There's audio books, all sorts. I'd recommend finding a good audio book on someone who's really an expert and really got strong self-love. And then just study them. What are their beliefs? What do they do every single day? Because the more you study that, the more you're going to become aware and embed that into your life as well. And the self-love will start developing. And then you'll be in that place where you're wanting to, well, you're not wanting to impress others so much. So that's what I got for you today. I appreciate you for being here. And remember to lead with your heart and not with fear.